Philippines, the only country in the world other than Vatican City where divorce is not legal. Two people can voluntarily choose to love each other, remain faithful, but in the Philippines, it's pretty much through death or the notoriously long process of annulment. Before the Spanish colonial rule, in the early 16th century, absolute divorce had been widely practiced among our ancestral tribes. The Tagbanwas of Palawan, the Gadang of Nueva Vizcaya, and many more. During the American period and the Japanese occupation, some form of divorce was already in place. It was actually the 1950 Civil Code of the Philippines that abolished the laws. And besides, annulment is an expensive process that not everyone can afford. Divorce does not destroy the family. Divorce on any law for that matter will not destroy the family. It is only the members of the family who can do that. Putting a clear divorce law in place recognizes that some marriage work and some don't. In cases where a union is more harmful than beneficial, a divorce can be benevolent and less hurtful way of severing ties with your partner.
Divorce is the epitome of freedom. Divorce is the epitome of freedom in a way that if this law is legalized, the society breaks away from the chains of the traditional way of doing things. The society is led to a brighter light, and the society is made to believe that divorce will fix the problems of abusive marriage, and it will make life easier for couples who cannot be in the same house as each other anymore. Those couples are usually the ones who are undergoing a lot of stress in the household and those who have irresolvable problems that occur between each other. We believe that divorce law will make women more empowered. They will be more confident, they will be happier, and they will learn to fight back. They will indeed have freedom in their hands. We believe that this freedom will make the Filipino people more open to new chances of life. Reality-wise, there are and will always be abusive marriages. There will be marriages that can break you as a person. Husbands always are the suspects and the wives are always the victims. Women fight for the legalization of divorce because they simply want to have a new life. Women are usually the victims because women are perceived to be weak and women usually not fight back. Women obviously are not like that. This is stereotype that women get because this is what society casted them to be, and this is the sign that women should be more empowered to fight for their rights and to fight for what they believe in. Women should know that life is not the way society cast upon them. Women should be aware that life is not about toleration. It is about rights and law that supports these rights. I believe that the appeal for divorce should be a part of women's rights. Women should become more open and women should be fighters for a new life and a more meaningful one.
Pro-legalization of divorce in the Philippines. Divorce is a pro-choice, pro-chances, and pro-change. There are some couples or partners that is in need to be in divorce. In reality, there is no relationship or not all relationship is compatible and perfect for each other. Sometimes divorce is need to be legalized in the Philippines to have other relationship that is in need. Like in other sector in the Philippines, they already practice this. Like in the Philippines, there is another example or sector that practices a divorce act for them to have freedom against what they need and to end a suffering of their partner. So they need this divorce for a good situation to help them or other abused person. Like in battered wife, she or a wife need a divorce for her to help her freedom in a situation in abuse husband.
Many says that divorce is not the solution to husband and wife misunderstanding or husband and wife quarrels. Now tell me if divorce is not the solution in this kind of situation. According to the Philippine Commission on Women website, physical injuries and wife battering remains to be the most prevalent case across the 12-year period from 1997 to 2009, accounting nearly half of all reported violence against women cases nationwide. Lucky are those who already find their perfect husband, but how about those who only see the negative side of their spouse after the declaration of their union? It will be a hell life for those women if they will still stay on that kind of relationship. Legalizing divorce is a recourse for women in an abusive relationship. In contemporary society, choosing religious tradition over human rights is wrong. In our country that is predominantly religious, it is no surprise that a lot of basic human rights are still under debate.
Marriage. Marriage in country is, in definition, is permanent combining of man and woman in front of God. Some critics stated that divorce is the destruction of family, and the one who being affected seriously is the children, because it affects the psychological mind of youth, so that they avoid divorce in the Philippines. But some person said that divorce is a matter of choices. In the Philippines, if Philippines supported the divorce in Philippines, it means Philippines is a tolerant country and accepting nation.
I stand for the legalization of divorce. First of all, we all know, and from the everyday news, there are less fortunate who are having conflict or failure of marriage. So I think we don't need to be a selfish person, that we need to become a practical, that instead of annulment, we need to legalize divorce. That's a cheaper, and that can help those who are less fortunate to solve their problem in marriage. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks to Vatican City, the Philippines is the only country without having a divorce. From 1999 to 2001, 6 bills were already filed in the Congress introducing and legalizing divorce in our country. It is important to take note that Gabriela Partilis was part of that movement. However, both houses are dominated by men. Therefore, it's a long shot in the Congress in passing that bill. In fact, Philippine senators are not in favor of divorce law. To name a few, there are Senator Sergio Osmeña III, Senator Vicente Soto III, and Senator Ferdinand Marcos Jr. What could be the reason why they are so against in passing that bill? The answers were so alarming. Senator Osmeña said, and I quote, "I cannot favor a divorce law. My wife could use that against me," end of quote. Senator Soto said, and I quote, "That's unlikely. In the lower house, the lawmakers there might face their wives' fury in passing that law," end of quote. And lastly, Senator Marcos said, and I quote, "No, I love my wife. I don't want to divorce her," end of quote. What is the role of the government in our country? Isn't it to end our sufferings? Or if not to end, mitigate our sufferings? The people have spoken, and according to the SWS survey, which was conducted during the fourth quarter of 2014, 60% of the adult Filipinos are in favor of divorce law. I am also in favor of divorce law for the following reasons. 1, it's cheaper compared to annulment. And 2, the spouse can remarry. Unlike in legal separation, they cannot remarry. I cannot fathom why in the Philippines there is the acceptance of legal separation and annulment but the denial of divorce law. The Philippine Congress should stop being selfish and start addressing the needs of the people.
If you said that marriage does not destroy the family, why do you think that divorce is legalized and it allows the families to separate? If divorce is legal, the child will go separate ways, along with the father and mother. They will start different families and forming illegitimate families that have broken. The children may have suffer psychological problems such as depression, anxiety, and suicidal issues. And Philippines and Vatican are the only countries that are not allowing divorce. Don't you want to maintain this sanctity or not?
Why I am against divorce?
It is not the answer to the growing violence against women and children. It gives a wider path to domestic problems. For example, there is an abusive husband who have been divorced by his wife. The husband will then just look for another woman to abuse. While the woman, if she's the one having some problems, she will just look for another guy, and if things will not get well, all she has to do is to apply again for divorce. Ridiculous, isn't it? It is just a picture of freedom to try marriage. The sanctity of marriage will be disrespected. Divorce bill will void any chance of reconciliation between two people who might just need space to be understood. Little conflicts which are normally part of the marriage will become big issues of the couples, and divorce will be an easy way out. We have a constitutional mandate requiring the protection of the family and state as far as marriage is concerned. According to the nation framers, in order to have a strong nation, we must have a strong family, and it's necessary for the state to solidify the family, promote its total development, and express the sanctity of the Filipino family. If we allow absolute divorce, we may result in hasty marriage. Our wish for having a strong family will not be realized if we allow divorce in the country. Divorce would not strengthen, but in fact will destroy the family.
I am not in favor that divorce will be legalized in the Philippines. I believe it's illegal and against the law of God. Philippines is a Christian culture country, and we are the largest Christian culture country of all Asia. I don't like divorce at all, and it has so many disadvantages. Of course, divorce ends your marriage that invests nothing at end. Divorce costs money and hurts children, and also it changes personal relationships. Many people just don't know the real importance of marriage, even before planning of the wedding. Many of us are very religious and follow strict rules. We, Filipinos, believe that marriage is a sacred in the eyes of God. Divorce is not the solution to the problems of many couples having their difficulties. They should put in the mind that they should save the relationship. They both promise in the front of God that they will be as one dealing life through ups and downs. We should see the other side of the situation and not be so selfish. Children is the number one reason to keep the family together and bravely face all problems. We should stand as the last standing country that did not legalize divorce and fight our dignity as a Filipino and as a person. Love of the family is the Philippine cultural identity. Family is very important, and we should not give the evil an opportunity to destroy our gift of life, which is our family. I hope that many people realize the true essence of having a family.
Divorce is illegal and against the law of God. Philippines is a Christian culture country, and we are the largest Christian culture of all Asia. I don't like divorce at all, and it has many disadvantages. Of course, divorce ends your marriage that invests nothing at the end. Divorce costs money and hurts children, also it changes personal relationships. In our nation, divorce is a big part of life. Divorce is the legal dissolution of marriage or the termination of an existing relationship or union. Divorce starts with two adults but always ends up impacting the children in the biggest way. Sons and daughters of divorce often feel confused and abandoned, lose their family structure, and experience identity crisis. Many parents never bother to think of how divorce will affect their children. Children are impacted by divorce in multiple ways. For the most part, the impact is negative. Children feel they have to choose a side to get love from a parent. They are taught to lie and keep secrets from one parent in order to protect another parent. In a divorce, the parent that wants to fight for the marriage feels rejected by the parent that wants to divorce. This same rejection is felt by the children when the parents separate then announce they are getting a divorce. Some children go through identity crisis, wondering who they are and what will become of them because they do not have the influence of both parents in the home. Marriage is not a game that you would just enter and would leave when you don't like to be in it anymore. Once you vow together in front of God or pay a judge, you are committing yourself to your partner forever, except when arranged marriage. Being forced to marry someone will be acknowledged. Couples must respect the sanctity of marriage. As stated in the Constitution, Marriage is the foundation of family and protected by law. Couples must take the duties of being husband and wife. Responsibly, they should also consider their children. Marriage is sacred in the eyes of God. Divorce is not the solution to the problems of many couples having their difficulties. They should put in their mind that they should save their relationship.
I agree that divorce will open a highway for immorality and degradation of Philippine culture and religious standards and belief. Therefore, I am not in favor that divorce be legalized in our country. The Bible says that what God has put together, let no one separate. Let us also take into considerations the effect of separation to children. Divorce introduces a massive change to the children. It hurts witnessing loss of love between parents, adjusting to a new family setup, and the absence of one while living with another. Another thing is, when divorce is legalized, marriage will be meaningless. People will not think twice about getting marriage anymore because it will be easier for them to divorce. Another thing is, I believe that divorce is not the answer to the problem couples are experiencing. I think they should stick together and try to work things out. They can as long as they want to.
I strongly disagree on the legalization of divorce here in the Philippines. Basically, it's not the way to resolve family issues and to strengthen family relationships. It is like destroying the basic unit of life in our society. Studies prove that children with separated parents are the most often being bullied every day by their co-students. They are being told and bullied that they have separated parents and don't have to guide them. So, I strongly disagree on the legalization of divorce here in the Philippines.
We are at a crossroads as we choose whether to legalize divorce or not. It was as if those who dare to legalize this has some twisted convictions. They are saying that developed countries have adopted this policy and could help our society free itself from the chains of the old system. Let's take America for example, with a divorce happening in every 13 seconds, according to a recent national survey. A case wherein 73% happens due to a lack of commitment. And what does this tell us? Loyalty and commitment is a value wherein the new generations have placed little importance. Friends, we must think that in order to create a policy that would help our country, we must not consider wherein others are doing it, but whether these policies would help our country and would ensure the stability of our nation.
Divorce does not destroy marriage, but does.
As we have stated on our arguments, divorce is not the primary solution to resolve the marriage problems. First, we should not take the opinion of other countries in terms of legalizing divorce. It does not mean that international countries are doing it. We should also adapt to it too. We are a sovereign country and does not need any opinion of other countries in this matter. Second is that we are pro-religion, and we should not legalize divorce, for it greatly violates the sanctity of marriage. Finally, the sake of the children whom are the product of marriage. This will not solve the problems, but it will make it worse than it already is.